Greetings and welcome back to the channel. Hi, my name is Andrew. I'm a photographer, producer, filming director, and most importantly, a teacher. I teach photography and movie making at Beyond Photography Academy, an academy that specializes in photography and movie making. Hey, if you stay on today, you're going to learn about field monitors. What are they? If you're somebody that makes videos or short film with mirrorless cameras and DSLRs, you realize that one of the biggest problems, you only have one LCD screen, and more often than not when you're shooting video, you need a crew of more than 2 people. In my case, when we shoot commercials for brands and customers, we have a crew of 10 to 15 people. These are producers, making sure that the actors and actresses get the performance with the script, and we have director, assistant directors. We have 2 of them, one for the actors and actresses, the another one for the crew. And then we have the focus puller, we have the clients, all of them needing to look at the screen. So you probably think that these few monitors extend out the LCD output to all these people. More than that, because modern film monitors have tools that allow you to get your focus perfectly, tools that allow you to get your exposure correct, your color correct. So viewers, if you stay on, you're going to learn about film monitors, and at the same time we're going to do a full review of the FEELWORLD F7 Pro. And this is not a paid review. I want you to understand how I do reviews. You see, brands frequently write to us saying that, hey Andrew, we love your channel. Would you like to do a review of our product? We have a few criteria. So typically I'll respond to them saying that, number 1, don't tell us what to say. We'll always do the good points and bad points of every product. If you cannot take this, don't send it to us. Number 2, don't pay us money. That's true. And if it is a paid review, we'll be telling you early on in the video. And number 3, of course, I don't return the products to them. So what I do, I keep them at the academy so my students can actually play with it, learn to use them, and then compare among all the different film monitors. So that's it. We're going to do this in the good point, bad point format. Good point number 1, the build and the weight. It's pretty sturdy, though it may seem a little bit plasticky. And don't forget, you will mount this on your tripod, on your gimbal, on your monopod during filming, so you don't want them to be heavy. I would say the build is not too bad, though it's a little bit plasticky, but you know, film monitors are supposed to be light. And most film monitors would have multiple mounting points, which means hole that you can attach your articulated arm. This one have all of them at the right places. But the only point about this is that they don't have stoppers. So there's this risk of you over screwing it. Well, what I meant by that is that you may end up screwing your articulated arm a little bit too far in and probably crack something. Next good point, multiple ways to power this monitor. You can use the NPF, USB, DC 12 volt, and that's important because sometimes when you're out of battery, you just want to stick in anything that you want. And apart from that, it has a built-in NPF adapter, which you can use for lights and even power wireless HDMI adapters. And here's the good point, when you have something like this, you can easily connect your wireless HDMI port to it, and you can have a monitor that receives wireless transmission. That's a really good point because I don't like being tied down by wires when I'm doing assistant director's work. I love this monitor for one good reason. My favorite point, it has loads of features. Let me tell you what they are. It has touchscreen. You can right swipe to bring up and down the volume, left swipe to bring up and down the brightness, which is very intuitive. I don't need to work with buttons. And then button swipe up for the quick settings, double tap anywhere to go to the full menu, and at the same time it has all this load of LUTs that you can put in through SD cards. And it's cheap. Check out the price, US $240 for a 7-inch touchscreen. That's really affordable. That's like a beginner's price. If you're going to go out and get yourself a film monitor, I can tell you that this is the best, most important point. Oh, as part of the review, I brought this film monitor to a few shoots. One was for a surgery, and that was really fabulous. Without it, I wouldn't have been able to get great footage because it's about a 6 to 7 hour surgery. The second one, I brought it to my shoot for Chili's, the restaurant, for the new menus. And it was totally important for me to show the photos to my client, and this monitor truly helped me a lot. And I also use it for one of my clients' shoot, a tea company. And I totally find it useful because it has this wireless module that will allow me to sit away from the set and just quietly look at the acting. And take a look at output that was totally monitored by me as the assistant director for the shoot. Alright, those were the good points. The bad points, not bright enough. Let's put it this way. You're going to be filming outdoor a lot and you don't want to squint. And this monitor has 500 nits of brightness, which is actually not enough if you're going to be filming outdoor a lot. But the plus point is FEELWORLD throws in the hood. This is going to be really useful. Well, I can honestly tell you, my focus puller would really need a hood. In fact, most of the time he'll take a black cloth and cover it and go sit at the corner. So having the ability to connect a wireless HDMI to it, that allows you to be going to a darker place. That's really important, brightness. But the hood helps. Right, second bad point. Input options from camera has to be nothing over 60 frames per second, which means you cannot use this monitor for slow motion shots. Yeah, because maximum is only 60 frames per second, nothing more than that. Okay, this is not a big bad point, but a bad point nonetheless, I feel, because the cold shoe mount that's provided for you to make adjustment to it, you don't have a knob, you don't have anything. You need to use the provided Allen key. Well, imagine that you have to go search that Allen key and you know. But that's it, I understand. They want to make this as compact as possible. But maybe in the next iteration, if you will put a knob to it. But then I understand as well, I have few monitors where the knob are so tiny, it's really a pain in the fingers to move. So yeah, carry Allen keys in your pocket all the time. Well, most of us as movie makers, we have our gaffer's belt, which means that we have a multi-tool which has these Allen keys. So yeah, you live the life you choose. You want to be a movie maker, get ready to have a gaffer's belt and multi-tool hanging from your side. Okay, verdict time. Yi Chong, how many stars do you give this? That's Yi Chong. Mine, 4 out of 5. I would say that if you're a budding videographer, somebody that's starting out making movies and videos and getting serious with this, you need a film monitor, think no further. Things like the price and the scopes and the features and the touch screen and the ability to mount your wireless HDMI transmitter, it's priceless. Because I use it for filming one day for my client and I totally love it. I just sat far away, don't want to be intrusive. So yeah, go ahead and get yourself that FEELWORLD F7 Pro. Now remember, when you're choosing a field monitors, you don't want them to be too big. They can be clunky. Number 2, you don't want them to be too heavy. Number 3, you got to make sure that the thread points and the cold shoe mounts are solid, because that's where all the stress and all the breaking points going to be. And lastly, make sure it has touch screen and a lot of scopes as well to help you with pulling focus and getting your color correctly, looking at all the exposure, not just from the screen, but reading the scope.